Be careful what you wish for, cause you just might get it. Oh, I'm Tom.
Me, Travis. Me, touch legs.
Cody's calling in from Hawaii.
I'm also touching my legs here in sunny Hawaii.
Hello. And we also have...
Hi,
I'm Mike.
Standard Mike, the kickflip kid.
Kickflip
And
kid.
also we have special guest with us tonight, my sister, Emily Saltman.
Hello, it's a friends and family night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure is.
It's so cool how tight-knit you guys are. I have, never had a group of friends, but I tell all of my singular friends that you guys are, all of my brothers. I have a bunch of brothers, even though, Tom, you're, my legitimate only brother.
Yes.
So it's cool.
Yes. It's true. I can't contest anything you just said. I don't know how many friends you have, but they don't talk to each other,
No,
apparently.
but y'all would kick ass for me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd punch a man in the dick.
Thank you. Would you punch a woman in the dick for me?
Yeah, I'd knock him right back in there again.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
And then I'd say
take care of our own.
Then I'd say you're welcome.
Thank you.
And then you tip your fedora and then exit stage left.
All right. So how's everyone's week? Yes.
Why don't we start with you, Cody? What's going on, dude?
I'm in Hawaii. There's house geckos. There's sunshine. I hate it.
You're such a fucking troll.
Yeah. There's reptiles.
Go outside.
It's the end of the world.
You're one of them.
I do go outside
When?
to get air and
You were
a week
breathing.
ago.
You're not allowed to
Yeah.
smoke in the building?
There's a garage. I can smoke in the garage.
Oh, okay.
Sick.
Well, that's, there's Cody in Under a Rock Paradise for you.
Yeah. That's me.
I feel like I got a lot done this week, but I didn't. So I'll leave it at that.
What did you get done?
I'm dying of suspense.
A few job things, freelance work. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
You know what I said? Do you know what I said? Be careful what you wish for.
The podcast can't all be that, all right?
All right, well,
change it up.
I will.
Mike, what about you?
I had a fantastic week, and I'm just happy to be here with you guys right now.
Wow, that was a
You
nice
know?
prayer you just said.
You guys are all
I don't
welcome,
believe him.
You know?
This guy's lying. Get him out.
Can we eat the mashed potatoes already? What's going on here?
Cody, you can't see. We were all holding hands. Emily?
My week has been pretty great. I feel good now. It took a while to get there, but it's Friday. Cheers to the freaking
Yeah, right.
weekend.
Hell yeah.
Wow. So, Travis, I know it's your favorite part of the episode, so why don't we get right to the punch? Who's on the chopping block?
Yeah, fuck my week anyway.
How was your week? How was it?
It's okay.
That's it?
Just okay.
It's all right.
Come on, anything?
I can't drink at work anymore.
Yikes.
Someone threw up or something, and now no one can drink.
Ah, that's the worst.
Fucking
They should
idiot.
have just fired that person.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fired.
Just let him die in his own puke and let us continue, right?
Yeah, roll him
Travis,
into the
when you and
street.
I worked together, we didn't puke at all on the clock.
No, I did shotguns in the office.
But you didn't puke, which is the key part.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for not spoiling that for me.
All right, ask me the question. Else.
All right, careful what you wish for. Who's on the chopping block
God damn it,
tonight?
Tom. Tonight, we are roasting a feminist. Bam, bam, bam.
Dude,
Is this allowed?
2019. What are you doing to us?
We're not roasting any old feminists. We're roasting the woman who shot Andy Warhol, Valerie Solanas.
Valerie Solanas.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a lot of fun. I did a little looking into that.
The only real insight I've had into that is a reenactment done on American Horror Story season 7. Lena Dunham plays her, so that says enough.
Oh.
I know, right? Okay, so I was gonna mention this.
I'm so sorry.
I did weeks. No, I did like weeks of research on her, and then just 2 days ago, I was YouTubing her, and it was all this Lena Dunham or whatever the fuck her name is. And I was like, God damn it, American Horror Story did it. Fuck.
No, I guess she was a good choice for her, so let's get into it.
Yeah,
and figure
right?
out why.
Well, I mean, it's like having Daughtry play the guy from Disturbed. It's
like
similar.
that.
Just
That works for me.
naturally overlaps.
So not only did she shoot some overrated albino hack, but she penned the Scum Manifesto, one of radical feminists' most important books. And I'm not saying general feminism like the random, like, Al-Qaeda versions of feminism.
Extreme feminism.
Extremism.
Yeah, well,
With any type of group, you always have extremes, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah, and we'll get into the Scum Manifesto in a bit. And I thought because we're doing a topic on the feminists, you know, if it was just the Roast Mortem crew, it would be a bunch of dudes jerking off and being like, "Rah, feminism."
I'm not gonna, like, I don't...
Yeah, we jerk off during the episodes. Thanks for outing that, Travis.
Yeah, right, Cody? Like, what Travis, what do you think?
I
Like,
jerk off.
You get off on hate?
Yeah.
It's our job to hate. I don't get off on hate.
So I wanted to bring in a female perspective, so thank you for being on the show.
Hell yeah.
And I want you-
ovaries.
Yeah. No, I want you to call out any misogynistic bullshit that I might say.
I got some points.
I will say this. Valerie, later in her life, suffered from schizophrenia. And I'm not trying to make fun of mental illness on the show. But, you know, I think she knew what she was doing in the beginning of her career. It just, I think...
She's a creative.
Yeah, she is a creative.
Which is the first problem.
Right.
Because those people are awful.
Right.
They suck.
And that's not a sexist thing. They're all awful.
I actually think that a lot of the people surrounding Valerie might be the real assholes of the story. So at the end of the episode, I'm going to say I'm going to ask you guys who the real cunt was. You know what I mean?
You think she was manipulated by someone else?
No, but, you know, she was an asshole and everyone around her was an asshole.
Assholes react, man. You eat that right.
Yeah, assholes flock together.
Spicy sauce, man.
I can
If
smell
everyone
it.
in the same room eats that same spicy sauce, the assholes are going to be riled up, you know?
Yep.
So what you're saying is everybody eats ass.
2019, baby.
Sorry, is it too soon in the episode to make an ass eating joke?
No, it's fine. It's just a generational thing that we... I don't understand because I'm a few years older. Travis, same age. Cody, same age. We would call it dining on booty.
Toss the salad.
Toss
Yes.
the salad. I
Okay,
thought
so
toss the
this
salad
is
was in prison.
this is I guess like a fourth wave feminism thing.
Right.
Anus tartar.
okay. Sorry, my bad.
Anus on the rocks.
Shaken, not stirred.
So Valerie Jean Solanas was born April 9th, 1936 in Venter City, New Jersey.
That's from the dirty Jersey.
Dirty Jersey.
Depression child.
Yeah, depression child. Venter City, New Jersey is actually right next to Atlantic City. It's kind of like the shitty conjoined twin of Atlantic City.
That no one talks about.
Yeah, it's like where all the casino workers and loose ladies live, and then they go venture up.
It's like the suburbs.
Gotcha.
You live.
Kinda. This is like a dirtier suburb.
How far away is it from the Jersey Shore is the question.
It's on the Jersey Shore.
It's right there. And just letting everyone know, back at that time, Atlantic City was popping. This is before Mohegan Sun came in and started scalping
God.
people in Connecticut.
Oh, my Mohegan son. So my Mohegan boy, I birthed him, and then Atlantic City was over.
Yeah, you ruined the party permanently.
Yeah. So both of Valerie's parents were first-generation American. Her father, Louis's family came from Catalonia, and he worked as a bartender in Atlantic City. Her mother, Dorothy, came from Italy and made all the spaghetti for the family.
All right. Stregonona.
Yeah, a little...
Oh no.
Pa. And Valerie also had a younger sister named Judith, who will come into the story a little later. When Valerie was 4, her parents split up, and Dorothy and Louis were living that fast, loose life down in the bars, the clubs of Atlantic City. So they sent the girls over to their maternal grandmother, who could cook way better spaghetti than Dorothy.
Yeah, she's Stregonona.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, Nona, that is grandma in Italian, correct?
Oh shit! Thought it was Mamma Mia.
So Valerie described her youth as pretty good. She spent the summers surfing, going to dancings, getting crushes on the high school boys. But if we take a little closer look, it was actually kind of dark. Very socially awkward girl, disturbed, violent. But she just described it as, it was nice.
She said it was all cool.
Yeah.
But
when you dig into her friends and family,
oh, yeah.
you're seeing something not so good. Valerie was a very smart kid, quick-witted, did great in school when she applied herself, but she loved to fight, and she would pick on the boys.
This sounds like my own bio.
Yes, she was quick to fight people. She would start shit, and she reveled in violence. Actually, her grandfather once scolded her and took off his belt for the whipping. And remember, this
old
is
school shit.
Yeah, remember this is 1940s when whipping a child would be featured on an Oprah special,
Right.
because it was just accepted.
How to get your child to chill with it.
Valerie actually took the lashings and laughed through the whole ordeal. So something's already up with this chick.
Sadomasochist.
Yeah, but did he do it again?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, so she won.
Yeah, it's like,
That's how you win.
she's just smart.
She also started having sex at the age of 13.
Oh no, she's not smart.
And around that time, she assaulted one of her teachers and ran away from school and hitchhiked to her aunt's house in Baltimore.
Hey, that's pretty far.
That's pretty impressive
down
for a
there.
She's like
13-year-old.
a rebel or something like that.
I don't know if I put the qualifier or something like that at the end of that. She is a rebel.
Yeah. She had no problem shoplifting, which was a skill that continued throughout her life. Has anyone else shoplifted here? No judge.
I have not.
No?
Hell yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've done
What'd
it a
you
couple
steal?
times.
I was at Warped Tour.
Oh,
There's
shit.
a start. And I wanted to get these sunglasses, but because it's like super sunny at Warped Tour. And there was no one there, so I was like, I'm not waiting. I need these now.
That's not shoplifting.
That's protecting your eyes.
yeah. That's surviving.
Yeah, no, exactly. Thank you.
That's stealing the loaf of bread to feed your eyes.
Oh my god, I'm John Valjean.
Right?
Okay, I feel better now.
Hungry eyes.
Go
Mike,
on.
you steal skateboard wheels once?
Yeah, me and my friends would go to Zoomies and like steal the hardware and stuff like that.
I've done that.
They never had cameras in those places.
I stole a really nice pair of orange Venture trucks one time.
Ooh,
Awesome. And then someone stole them from me.
karma.
Those
I
are
deserved it.
the least discreet thing to steal. If anyone sees you, they-
You should have seen the pants I was wearing back then.
I did. I'm your sister.
Yeah. You remember the pants I was wearing back then?
I just
You guys-
remembered when I was little, I accidentally shoplifted a Popeye VHS. Not the Robin Williams one, just a regular Popeye cartoon VHS.
Of course.
Accidentally.
Yeah,
Where
I
did
didn't
you
know,
put it?
Taking stuff out of the store is bad.
Oh, okay.
Can you guess what I stole once? I only shoplifted one time.
It was probably a magazine.
Shrimp.
Yeah, it was a magazine. Do you know what was in the magazine?
Sexy
Body-
ladies.
Yeah, titties! I stole some
course.
titty mags one time. I felt like a rebel, and then I got a tear tattooed next to my eye.
And then promptly removed.
No, it's still there. It's just, I have some
It's
folds in my
flesh-toned.
face.
Oh, good.
On a slightly darker note, and I wanted to set this up for the show because, you know, when we go into her philosophies and everything, there's an origin to why she might be a radical feminist. So Valerie was sexually abused when she was little, and it could have been one of two men, either her own father or her stepfather, Red, which is really fucked up and gross.
Well, his name's Red, so it was definitely him.
Yeah, well, actually, from my research, it seems like it was the stepfather because even though Louis, her father, was a raging alcoholic, most people knew him as like a good father, and Valerie stayed in constant letter contact with him throughout her life, her fucked up life, and he would send her money, and like the tone was always endearing because I read a lot of letters from them and everything.
Okay.
But this Red guy,
Not a racist thing.
no, he was a piano tuning. That was his job, was a piano tuner.
Oh, sicko.
And him marrying Valerie's mother was the first time he'd been married. So like one of those creepy like I'm stringing piano wires.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
disturbed for her.
Right. And she would actually run away from the house, and during this time actually she had her first underage pregnancy and questionably could have been him. Which is kind of
Wait,
gross.
first underage pregnancy?
Yes. So she was knocked up at the age of 14.
This poor girl.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
I know. This is a tragic start to a life for sure.
But trauma never justifies any act
Exactly.
That's a result of it.
Exactly.
Maybe
Like, they're-
shoplifting.
Yeah, shoplifting, we're down for. Fuck the system. Take it.
A little
So-
retail therapy.
Yeah. Just a little insight into how underage pregnancy worked in the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
How did that work?
How did it work?
Yeah.
Did it start with a 40s or 50s penis or vagina?
That was the first step. The penis goes in the
I
vajayjay.
thought it was a stork back then.
No, basically, a
Or the
girl.
Cabbage Patch.
Yeah, if an underage girl became pregnant, their parents would usually send them away to a boarding school for 2 years, and they would just disappear.
I'm assuming Catholic or.
Probably, but usually this school was a school for underage pregnant girls. So it was like a whole bunch of underage pregnant girls. They'd be there for like 2 years until they had the kid, and like could raise it a little bit.
Oh,
And
okay.
then-
Okay, definitely no religion. I thought it was like a religious thing.
No, it could be.
No, it could be.
Could be.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I mean, I think it was whatever it was just they were all pregnant. So
She gave birth to a kid.
she did give. Yeah, that's what happens,
Michael.
That's just wild.
I thought they did like abortions back then too. Like
No, see, that was the
sketchy
thing. Is back
ones.
then
That was
you
a
know,
Roe v. Wade. That was like 60 something, 68, 60, 69.
Well, that was a
something.
wild year.
it was 71, I think.
71.
I think.
Was it?
Either way,
Yeah.
we're talking about the 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
So abortions are not so hot. You know what I mean?
yeah.
there were abortions, but thanks to feminist movements, back then they were all under the table and like
Yeah, weren't they like
risky and
sketchy, right?
I'm
Like,
sorry. How
shit.
old was she again?
When she had her kid,
Yes.
14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So she had this kid, and her mother actually raised her daughter, thinking that the mother was the mother. So
So the grandma raised the kid under the impression that that was her mother.
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
but it was actually Valerie's daughter.
And
Really?
was Valerie in the kid's life being like, I'm your sister?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's so
Which was
weird.
very weird, and she didn't
is
know
so
until way late in her life that Valerie was actually her mother.
If you didn't know that, Jack Nicholson was raised that way.
Really?
Yeah.
That's such a mind fuck when you find out.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
he
God.
look at that guy. Look at those eyebrows. Look at the amount of coke that's went up his nose. 'Cause he could have birthed several children.
Yeah, but that contributed to his success.
Yeah, right.
In a way.
Yeah,
In a way.
in a way.
Got to turn those weaknesses into strengths.
Shortly after returning from boarding school at the age of 15, Valerie gets in a relationship with a sailor that's stationed near Atlantic City. The sailor was married with 3 kids. So, this guy's gross.
This is bad.
Dating a 15-year-old.
Dating a 15-year-old. She gets knocked up again. This time, the child is raised by their neighbors who wanted to adopt a child to begin with. In exchange for the baby, the neighbors offered to pay Valerie's college tuition.
Okay.
Trade the baby.
Sick.
This is a
deal.
this woman so
Fuck
far.
yeah.
man.
There's like no question there.
Yeah, also
Kidding me?
for that time it worked because college was reasonably priced.
Look, yeah.
$54.
And it's
Yeah.
so badass. that
If
she,
you can get that today, right?
no, but her like maternal need like is not as much, and that is so badass to be like, yeah, I had the kid, yeah, I did it, but you can have it.
Yeah, you can take it. Well, just
Make me smart.
I looked up how much her college tuition was. It was under $100
Oh,
for the entire year.
Even for back then. This is 1951 now.
Yeah, 1950s.
Okay, so we're looking at $850 now.
Yeah,
About that.
Baby for sale.
Yeah.
baby for sale.
I've been getting really good at this money exchange thing with this.
It's freaky how good you are at this.
Yeah, dude.
You really are.
Well, it's all the roast mortem stuff.
So Valerie went to the University of Maryland College Park in 1954. She majored in psychology. She did exceptionally well. Besides her kind of awkward social interactions, she kind of put her head down, worked in school. She, even though college tuition was under $100, she took up a spare job at the psychology department animal laboratory.
Oh,
Oh.
cool.
Yeah.
What was she doing there? Just telling monkeys that she had 2 kids?
I got 2 kids, dog.
I know. I feel your pain. Here's a banana.
Well, she was actually studying something called traumatic avoidance learning in rats and dogs, testing heavily on hormonal behavior interactions and hormonal genetics, or behavioral genetics.
Can you unpack that for a minute?
Yeah, it's basically the study of different sexes. Yeah. Like, what's your hormones doing?
What do you think about
Yes.
it?
You're a rat. Tell me your story.
What do your private parts want to do?
During this time, she started to formulate her ideas about women superior or female superiority that would become part of her general ideology.
Hell yeah. Do
in
you
the future.
see the females of nature and how some of them are so musty crusty compared to like the males? Like, what the fuck? And then you get to the human species, and I mean, it's a personal opinion, but goddesses, every single one of us, amazing.
Did you ever see a female hyena?
Yeah, they got dicks.
Wait, female hyenas have dicks?
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, they're like labias or like basically just bungee cords.
Yeah.
Of
They're called mock
flesh.
penises.
Oh.
And they're just hanging out, dude.
That's
That's how
pretty cool.
you roll with them, though.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's cool.
What you do with a
that.
mock penis, you just let it out.
I think I have like mock penises too, because my testicles just they hang so low you can't tell which one's the shaft and which one is actually the shaft.
It just looks like three small socks with grapes in it.
Yeah,
You get that too? You get that too?
that's about it.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, but the females are often the larger one, like woman.
Yeah.
Or
But in the primate genus in general, the men are like,
The
what's
men.
up? What's up, dude? We're all China, the wrestler. You know, what's up, dude?
okay,
Yeah,
point taken.
I mean, look at baboons.
Hot.
Just look at them.
Look at those red butts.
Yeah, that's hilarious, Mike.
Yeah, the animal kingdom's jokesters. The red butt baboon.
So Valerie believed and preached that men were genetically inferior to women. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna do a little bit of some biology lesson right here.
Okay.
Papa Travis is gonna teach you something about the birds and the bees. You know what I'm saying?
This is for all the people going to school for biology right now.
Well, now you should just if you have kids at home, bring them into the room, and I will teach them about the birds and the bees.
Yeah, put the headphones on them, and we'll see where it goes.
So after Daddy Bee gets his throbbing, veiny stinger, and he inserts it into Mama Bird and busts that hot, milky load in there, around 1 billion wiggly assholes come blasting out into her cervix and race towards Mama Bird's egg. Mm-hmm. Now, you see, human caviar always carries the female gene X. Like, you're going to give it to X. These sperms are trying to get and give it to X.
Right.
Is
So
that what that lyric means?
yeah, it's not X going to give it to you.
Yeah.
It's you're going to be giving it some X.
Some X, yeah. Which Valerie calls the complete gene. But each of these wiggly little idiots racing towards that egg either carries an X or a Y gene. Mm-hmm. If the sperm with the X gene gets to the egg first, you have 2 X's. That means that person's going to have titties, like milk titties, and like fucking hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I follow.
But if it's got a Y and it gets there first, it's an XY person, and then they're going to be popping out a penis. You know
Yeah, and
what
I'm
saying?
like, why do you exist?
I have a better perspective now, Travis.
You understand, Mike?
Now I understand now.
All right, cool. You get it? That throbbing bee stinger?
Did you
Grab
know,
my
like,
attention.
X genes are physically heavier than Y genes just by a little bit because X genes are bigger, like, by size. So if you really, really want to, like, choose the gender of your baby, you can just put your sperm in a centrifuge, and, like, when it spins, the X's go to the outside because they're heavier, and the Y's go on top because they're lighter, and then you can actually, like, use a dropper to pick.
Yeah, that's because the X's have titties on them.
I thought if you wanted a boy, you just did doggy style.
I think that works too, actually.
Yeah, that absolutely works. So Valerie saw the Y gene as incomplete because it's missing that little tendril.
Yeah, it is smaller.
Therefore, she believed that men were biologically inferior to women. In her words, the male is an incomplete female, a walking abortion, aborted at the
Holy
gene
shit.
stage.
Damn.
I've always
Yeah,
heard
full
this
walking
train of
abortion.
thought. I guess she's like the genesis of it.
Just because she had a not so gentleman named Red in her life who fucked it up, and a sailor, and we don't shop as much. We're all inferior.
Yeah, but
What is that about?
This is like
Are there
eugenics.
any gentlemen named Red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
It is a eugenics.
because she's trying to like use science and say like I saw it.
Yeah.
It's fucking true.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was me getting rid of an extra chromosome.
That's not any.
It doesn't work like that. You can't be unretarded like with a bird, you know?
So you can see Valerie's harboring some pretty radical ideas, and she was living a very radical life. You know, instead of having the skirt and sweater look that most girls had, she rocked jeans, casual shoes, like maybe a plaid shirt.
Maybe a sick Japan Air every now and then.
Yeah, sick Japan Air. She walked around with a chip on her shoulder. Yeah, she had been through a lot of things, but she felt that the cards were stacked against her. All of them. All these cards.
You know what
All
she
52.
heard a lot?
What?
You're not like most girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah, guys, that pickup line doesn't work.
You're not like the
Not
others.
nowadays.
I've met all
She
of
ruined
them.
it for everyone.
It doesn't even. It never worked. Well, maybe it did. Maybe it did with most girls. But if you actually weren't like them, then it wouldn't work. You can't be honest to women when you're talking to them.
Yeah, you just. All right, Tom. So, if you were friends with Valerie, you definitely did not want to lend her any money. Because she was one of those friends that never contributed to the bill, asked for money with no intention of paying it back or like any favor or anything like that. You know, she was just give.
Taken.
Yeah.
Careful what you wish for.
She also was, like I said, constantly expecting people to foot the bill for her, and was a queen at bumming cigarettes.
Fuck yeah.
Damn it.
We all have that friend.
Yeah,
queen.
exactly.
I know so many people who have a cigarette habit but do not
Ever paid for them?
ever buy them.
If there was a system in place in which you can give someone a cigarette and then you get 100 cigarette back, you know, you get the longer one with
yeah.
interest.
With
Yeah, some APR
Yeah.
or APY. Yeah.
Wow, this is a good idea. Someone out here who's listening to this podcast, patent this idea. I'm going to give it to you. It's an app like Venmo.
And you only want 100 cigarettes
Just collect
in return.
cigarettes.
Yeah, well, no, for every cigarette, you get a cigarette with interest back.
Yeah,
and
100.
it keeps track of it. And every time you ask for a cigarette, you get to exchange your what Sigstagram. You call it that.
Sigstagram.
And you have to exchange info, and you can see their exchange rate. If they don't give them back, they don't pay for them. I'm not doing it. You're a bum.
and
You're a bum.
0 stars.
Why do you have an iPhone? You're a bum.
Yeah.
Go buy a cigarette.
0 stars, great conversation.
I liked what you did, Tom. You said, like, you can have a cigarette, but tell me a story.
Oh,
That
yeah, I
is
used
the
to
best.
do that.
That
Have
is
you done
great.
that?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time.
cool.
When we would go out in Brooklyn and shit and be a bunch of assholes, I get hammered and I'd throw cigarettes, but I'd be like, "Give me the story."
Yeah.
I'd tell people, "Give me stories," and I got some good stories. And then I told people to stop talking at certain points too, because they would try to tell a story and be like, "You're stupid. Get out."
Just take the
But give
cigarette.
him a cigarette when
Give
you
me
want
the
them to stop
story.
talking.
Yeah.
Give me the rights to reproduce it.
All right.
Valerie was also a very spiteful bitch. One time, Valerie's roommate offended her. I don't know exactly what the offense was. So later that night, she pissed in her orange juice and put it back in the fridge.
Ooh.
Poopy!
Oh, my Minute Maid.
Tastes like Sunny D.
Only
Yeah, you
took
like
a
brush your teeth and then drink orange juice, and you're just like, "Not right. Something's not right here."
Valerie,
No, it's supposed to be bad.
yeah. Valerie identified as a lesbian, although she had a few boyfriends during college. She was very outspoken, contributor in the newspaper, the Diamondback, her local newspaper. She attacked sexism in 50s higher education, fought back about the notion of women attending college to just find a husband, which apparently was a thing back
Hell
then.
yeah.
So some might say she was smashing the patriarchy,
Yeah.
but Valerie never really used that term. You know, she was just doing her thing.
All right.
She actually responded to a preppy jock boy by writing a letter back to him in blood.
Wow.
I love
kind of
her.
Yeah, what kind of blood?
Menstrual has the word men in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Fucking hate
more
it.
menstrual. Yeah.
She found other ways of supporting herself. She got a job at a sleazy cocktail bar and started to prostitute herself. In the words of her boyfriend, and I'm not making this name up, Dick Spottiswood.
What a good guy.
Whenever possible, she would get her tricks drunk and roll them. And rolling them means, like, after they were drunk and she'd fuck them, she'd steal their money out of their pockets.
Cardi B.
Yeah. Is
that what Cardi B do?
Oh, money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which stands for cardiferous beeman.
She actually briefly married a Greek classmate for money in order for him to get his citizenship.
Spiro!
Yeah, and they quickly split up. Okay, so
I wonder why.
she eventually graduates, gets her degree in psychology, and then gets accepted in the University of Minnesota for her master's in evolutionary and biological psychology. So far, it seems that this woman for the 50s is doing a really good job to defy the odds and prove to men that, fuck yeah, I can get the same education.
Yeah.
She's doing really well, right?
Absolutely.
And then a year into her master, she says, I got bored, and just drops out.
Same thing happened to me.
Yeah?
Just got bored.
In your master's?
Yeah, what masters were you going there for, Mike?
Well, she was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Oh, all right.
And you know
Don't
what?
you know?
Actually, can I speak on this for a
Yeah.
little bit? I went to Minnesota. I've gone out in New York City countless times, and I have had a blast. I've been fucking drunk and not caring where I am. In Minnesota, I was very conscious, and I got grown up so many times. I cannot express how many times that I was felt up unsolicited, and it was terrifying, and I couldn't believe a lot of the responses that I got when I was like, "What the fuck."
Oh, all those Swedish, whoa, how you doing, eh?
What?
No, it was so insane.
That's nuts.
And I can't believe that my friend endures this all the time that I was visiting. I was like, "Is this your life?" And she was like, "Yeah." What do you mean? I was like,
That's crazy.
That is really
Minnesota,
nuts.
dudes, get your shit together.
and people knew
Yeah,
I
what the
wasn't
fuck?
from there. They were like,
Well, she doesn't talk like she's had a baby stroke.
Look at this here exotic New Yorker.
ultimately, I feel you, Valerie.
All right.
I'm bored too.
Hey, look.
You'd say, whatever, she's doing her own thing. That's feminism or whatever, but I don't think that it's necessarily a good role model because, both of my grandmother and her twin sister, 7 years older than Valerie, both of them got their masters in the 50s, one in medicine, one in chemistry. My grandmother was on the team that invented Valium and was doing animal testing.
Love her.
Yeah, exactly, right? She was doing animal testing, the same thing that Valerie did. So, both of them were successful and, worked their degrees in science. And Valerie's just like, nah, whatever. I'm just going to complain
She got
and
bored.
bum off things. I got bored.
Wait, hold on. Mike brings up a great point. She got bored.
That happens to me too sometimes.
Boredom knows no sex.
All right. So Valerie hitchhiked around America. She lived with a couple of men in various towns. She took some classes at Berkeley in California, then ended up looping back around to Jersey. And there she attended graduate school again.
Speaking of Jersey, real quick,
Yeah.
we did listen to some audio of her talking. And, man, just throw the Jersey on there. I can't do it because I'm not a woman, but here I am doing something.
Yeah, take out the garbage.
Now imagine a woman counterpart to this right here. You understand? You understand what we're talking about? This is a woman who talks like this.
She's got a thick...
She's got an attitude. She knows what's up. She's got chutzpah, you know?
Wow.
But on the weekends during graduate school, she would take the train to the most delusional place in the country where revolutionaries end up. New York City, especially Greenwich Village.
Oh, Greenwich.
Tom, put
I
an
love
air horn in
Greenwich.
Where the weenies become soft.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're so hard. They're so hard.
Oh.
They're hard for each other, but they're soft for themselves.
Well, yeah, right now, Greenwich Village, you just would find a whole bunch of useless designers and rent that only trust funds can afford. But back in Greenwich Village in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, that was the artsy, young...
It was an
rough.
epicenter
Valerie actually called Greenwich Village the center of a new universe.
Holy shit.
That's too much.
Good times. It's a new one.
So she said, fuck graduate school in Jersey. I'm going to move to Greenwich to become a writer.
Sorry,
Yes.
is she suggesting that a Big Bang happened there as well? It came late, but so did I.
So she was blown away by the gay scene there, especially gay men, openly gay men, lesbians, drag queens, off-Broadway shows, all the token things of a drama kid.
I'm cool with everything there except those off-Broadway shows.
Fuck off-Broadway
What is
shows.
going on? Go get some fucking pants on and get a job.
So she moves into the Hotel Earl and starts working part-time as in a coffee house.
Which would pay your rent back then.
Yes, it would.
I hate this.
Especially
Yeah,
if you
I hate
lived
this
in a
so
hotel.
Every time we talk about this time period, I want to murder myself.
Right?
Yeah.
Also,
I've done so much things, and I live in the basement.
who lives in a hotel? Like, that just doesn't happen anymore.
No, that used to be pretty normal back then.
Tesla did.
Tom, it's because you've done so many things.
No, I've done so much things. All right?
There's a difference.
I'm coming in where Valerie's coming in. Because right now, I sympathize with her. At this point in the story, you're traveling around. You dealt with extreme things. You made life decisions. But overall, I ain't got no shit on Val.
Yeah.
Seems like a cool lady so far.
Maybe, except for maybe some of her slightly eugenics-based thoughts.
That's just a difference of opinion. I could work around that. We can still hang out.
Well, let's get into it.
We
Go
are.
farther. And
So now she's in a place where being a bum is accepted. She became a pro-cigarette bummer.
Nice.
She would convince people to buy her quick meals, and she would actually have people buy conversations with her. She's a very fast talker.
Penny for your thought.
And also some quickies every once in a while.
Yeah, she's a squishy dog.
Yeah, squishy lady. Eventually, she got kicked out of the Earl for missing rent, and she ends up in room 606 in the Chelsea Hotel, the same famous hotel that Sid Vicious.
Yeah, he
Got dead.
No, he didn't die there. He killed Nancy Spungen,
Right.
supposedly. Go back and listen to the Nancy Spungen Sid Vicious episode. And a lot of people lived there at the time. That was like a rock and roll hub. A bunch of the New York Dolls guys were there.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan hung out there. It was something else. The Ramones, they all lived there. It was rock and roll history. And if I was like 10 years older, I would be into it.
too bad.
So once at the Chelsea, her panhandling and whoring picked up again.
Happens in Chelsea.
Yes. She is at the Chelsea because Valerie is a artist, a writer.
True.
Where all the creatives go to the Chelsea Hotel.
They smoke cigarettes and do something at night.
Yes.
And touch each other's bushes.
Give me a muffin.
Cody, you just fall off a goddamn chair?
No, what's going on?
I heard some scrumbling, rumbling. Sounded like Hawaiian mischief.
No earthquakes here.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what a muffin is, Tom?
Like a real muffin?
No, it's when you smoke a cigarette through pubis. It's a
Wait.
muffin.
That's not real.
Yeah, it's real.
That's not real.
It's invented at the Chelsea Hotel.
Oh, okay. So back to the muffin
Yeah.
top Chelsea Hotel.
So she, as an artistic writer, she was working a play called Up Your Ass,
Oh.
which she finished in 1965. It actually had 3 titles. It was called Up Your Ass, or From the Cradle to the Boat, or The Big Suck, or Up from Slime. 4 titles.
Yeah.
4 titles.
4.
Obviously, the play didn't have much direction if she couldn't name it.
Yeah, well, she was basically like, I just want to sell it, so I'm just going to have a whole bunch of names.
Yeah,
Oh.
up your
She's
ass
doing a
is
Stephen
sexiest.
King.
Yeah.
Wait, is it sexist?
No, it's sexiest.
Oh, sexiest. I was gonna say, it doesn't sound sexist to me because anyone has anus.
Except 10,000 people a year born without an anus.
Really, is that a thing?
I saw it on the internet.
So it totally is a thing.
Yeah, it's gotta be real.
Anus doctors hate these people.
No anus? Try this one weird trick.
So this was a raunchy, gender-bending play about a panhandler named Bongo Perez, lesbian hustler. It was just basically a whole bunch of reactionary shit, and apparently it was so filthy that, people either were disgusted by it, and if they got past the whole being disgusted by it, they were like, this is just actually written like trash. So it was like, it was shocking to be shocking, kind of, but
Right.
was poorly written.
Okay, Valerie, well, you did go to school for psychology and biology, so I don't know why you'd be writing plays. Do something else with your time. Coffee, that's a type of biology.
Yeah,
There's
coffee.
A bean.
A bean happens.
She loves beans.
Big on beans.
Flicking beans.
No. Air horn again? Perhaps.
So now we get to Valerie's Tour de Francais, as they say in France.
She hits up Franes?
No, like Tour de Resistance. What do they say in France?
So she doesn't go to France?
No, the best work she did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever, Cody, shut up. So, this is the Scum Manifesto, and this piece of shit is what radical feminists today call their Bible. It's basically a sacred text for angry, non-binary, sex-working women.
Does it really have a following?
It still does have a following today.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I actually was looking at a lot of Tumblrs about it.
Oh, that's where you'd find it.
Well, they don't allow pornography on there anymore. So
Their numbers are in the toilet because of that, dude.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. They
That's
took
like my only source for porn. That's it.
Great porn there.
apparently.
No more.
No more. So this book, and I say book lightly because it's more like a thick pamphlet, because I bought it and I read it, and I shouldn't have bought it because it was for free online.
And you're also a man, so you're probably like one of 10 dudes who have bought it.
Yeah, no, the cover art is a box cutter,
Ooh,
and it says the Scum Manifesto.
Is it
great.
a pop-up book?
So what does SCUM stand for?
So Scum stands for Society for Cutting Up Men.
Couldn't come up with a better
There's
name
an
for
F
that.
in there.
Yeah, well, you don't count the F's in acronyms.
The second wave of feminism brought a lot of women organizations or a lot of groups together. And there was one I was reading up. It said the Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell.
Oh, Witch.
Yes.
Yes, I do know about Witch.
So
They
I think
also
she
ignored
was.
the F there.
Yeah, I think Valerie was just trying to be trendy.
She was ahead of her time. Witch actually formed after Scum.
Was it?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. We will get there. It's also another group called CLIT, which stands for Collective Lesbians International Terrorists.
Yes.
Well, I know a men empowerment group called Dicks, but it's not an acronym. It's just a bunch of dicks.
That's simple.
Okay, so Scum kind of it's like a poorly written Mein Kampf. Essentially, she
Was Mein
claimed
Kampf great?
Mein Kampf was written well.
Yeah.
There's some very poisonous ideas in there, but it's written well.
so this is poisonous
Something to
ideas
say.
written poorly.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it had a syntax going.
All right, go on.
So essentially, she claims that men have ruined the world. They are biologically inferior, incapable of human emotions, and thus should be exterminated either through genocide or castration.
Now this is where I disagree. Women,
I hope so.
We're
women,
like nearly 50 minutes in.
women do not want a world without men. Women do not want a menless world. It's not the goal. Women just want men on all fours at all times.
Getting pegged.
That's it.
That's all
Is
right.
this still around today?
Yeah.
Can I join
what,
it?
pegging?
Would I be able to join? Would they hate me if I joined it?
Dude, well, not
Do you have a
well.
dick?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Or
get,
you get, like, a
you can
t-shirt
get
out
rid
of
of
it.
that. Do some hormonal
Yeah.
stuff, or
Yeah.
dude, just
No,
put
no,
a
no,
skirt
no,
on.
just
some
go
Red
the
Bull.
hyena route and claim it's a mock penis.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
You could just identify as a woman, which is 2019, if you so choose. And then you can join the
about
Scum Boys.
Yeah, but it's
which is
really-
actually the Scum Gals. Excuse
Yeah.
me, I put boys after everything.
Yeah, it's for us. It's not for you.
I mean,
Wouldn't take Mike on? Have I put a
Can't
wig on
join.
him?
He's gorgeous, but
I can't join. It's fucked up.
sorry.
all right. Mike, you can actually join. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to figure out how you can join here. So,
Hey.
so Mike really wants to join Scum. If you wanted to join Scum and you were a male, you could join the men's auxiliary of Scum. And men in the men's auxiliary were men who were working diligently to eliminate themselves.
I love that.
Wow.
For example,
Kurt Cobain would be in?
Yeah, Kurt Cobain would be in. So, for example, there were a few exceptions to the men's auxiliary that were allowed. So, men who killed other men, men who were biological scientists who were working on constructive programs to destroy men.
That's Mike's MO, really.
Journalists, writers, editors, publishers, producers, all promoting the ideas of scum. And these are her words, not my words. Faggots who, by their shimmering, flaming example, encouraged other men to de-man themselves and thereby make themselves relatively inoffensive. Other men...
The chop and the peen.
Yeah. And men who consistently gave things away, such as money, things, and services.
Okay, so what?
So just a bunch of effeminate men running around going, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I'll get there.
This is, man.
Don't say that.
No, I'm just trying to think. Like, this would be a field trip for like Jordan Peterson or something. I don't know. Clean your room. I don't know.
So how would the human race continue if all there were no males? Because Valerie thought that males were not even fit for a stud service. Because their dicks didn't always perform. So she foresaw a future of procreation without males, aka test tube babies, which wasn't even a thing back then. She was like, dude, we're going to be able to like grow shit in petri dishes.
She said, we don't need you.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
She wants that, like, what was that, Mad Max, the Imogen Joe? Like, Imogen Jane. He wants just a bunch of dudes like strapped up all bondage style and just getting jerked off into tubs.
No. You don't need to force it. Imagine putting an ad out there saying like, "Quick, we need your sperm." Like, imagine how many responses you get in like half an hour.
Hell yeah, I'll give it to you. Send me a picture, please.
I've already got a tube.
Send nudes. Send nudes.
But if she's like the feminist type who wants the more clear-minded person for genetic purposes, because she has she's worked with genetics, she's not going to want the guys coming out of the street just be like, well, where'd I put it? She's going to want the guys who go, what do I get out of this deal?
Right.
Are they real test tube babies?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I went to school with 2 of them.
That's fucking
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
friends with one.
Yeah,
I remember one.
they don't.
Cool.
They don't talk much.
Really?
Normal people. They don't talk much.
Good guy. Good eggs, but a little quiet.
I thought that was always like an urban legend, like test tube babies, like babies made
No,
in
they're real.
microwaves and shit.
No, they're
Called,
real.
In vitro.
Yeah.
Literally means inside glass.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
They get you.
So in the book, she breaks down all the reasons for this gender genocide. And I was going to list off all of them, but there's a lot. It's basically...
Gender side.
Yeah.
I was going to do it, Cody, if you weren't. I
Yeah.
was waiting.
All right.
Gender
Thank
side.
you.
I'll start listing it.
Make it fun.
Yeah, there's literally like 20 things that she rattles off, that men are responsible for domestic motherhood, ugliness.
Well, I mean,
The
it coincides with a lot of like the advertisements that were put out for jobs, and a lot of it were gender specific, like only a man could do this, only a woman could do this.
yeah.
It definitely came from there, but she did take it a little far.
Yeah, no.
A little
Look,
bit.
I think some of these things,
Like, they totally existed, but she
Yeah.
went like...
yeah.
I mean, the only thing men can do that women can't do as well is professional sports. And that's like nothing. And it's not that women don't play sports well. It's just, come on. Look at the WNBA. You're going to tell me that's exciting? It's just not.
Okay, but if you need to put a certain amount of hours into something...
But I don't look up to NBA players. I don't think they're the cream of the crop of society. This is nothing to strive to. That's my opinion.
What's
You
it,
know
the
what I mean?
center of
Like,
gravity or
we
something
don't
like
need
that's
we don't
different?
need more people playing basketball. We need people doing smart shit, and women do that.
Like Peter
You know what I'm
Parker.
saying? Like, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I might say that's contentious, who gives a shit?
No, I like that like sports are male dominant because men are more aggressive in my experience. So It's just like there's a huge like tribalism thing that men hold on to for some fucking reason. But women, like, they're more emotionally aware in what I've seen. So that's the biggest difference. And that's where a lot of this stems from, is like women being emotionally conscious and men being like, what?
Yeah, like, yo, let me get it.
Have you guys ever seen that internet poll? Like, it's a literal would you rather, and option A is would you rather your local WNBA team win championships forever or find $5 on the floor?
$5.
And finding, yeah, $5 was like 93% of the vote.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could say that with NBA, and it wouldn't matter to me. I'd be $5.
Yeah, I sound like an asshole right now, but also look at the numbers.
Yeah, sports altogether suck to me. All right, go on.
Yeah, that's it.
So like any true cityite, she hated the suburbs. She wrote in her manifesto that they were places where men could drag the pussy off, they claimed, through marriage to their own personal castle.
Man caves.
Can you say that again?
Have you ever played Super Mario Bros?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Well, he's trying to get it in there. He doesn't get it.
Yeah, but Bowser's like,
Oh, well, yeah, okay, and if he was, everyone's Bowser.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone's been assuming Bowser's gender. He's a turtle.
Yeah.
She's a turtle. They's a turtle.
no, they is a turtle.
Koopas.
But Mario is the nice guy.
He's just trying to help out.
Yeah, he's just trying to help out. She also hated hippies, which I also hate hippies.
Isn't she a hippie?
No, she's not really a hippie.
What is she?
She's an artist.
She's like, because Andy Warhol's crew, they, haven't gotten up to Andy Warhol, but we know she shot Andy Warhol. They're not really hippies. They're
Spoilers.
they're artsies.
No, they're artists.
Yeah, they're
Creatives?
minimalists.
Yeah. Creatives.
Yeah, tie-dye is too busy.
If you were out on the West Coast, you were like a hippie. I know, and in New York,
You ate hot dogs.
ate hot dogs.
Yeah.
You ate hot dogs and punched rats in the dick.
Yeah. Let him have it.
So she hated hippies. She saw them as communes for men to remove women from society so they could have a group of pussies to fuck.
She's not wrong.
Yeah.
That's kind of what those communes did.
And,
But I feel like
what are you going to say?
I feel like the hippie orgies, everyone is like signing up for it. You know what I mean? Like there's no one being dragged into those orgies, I feel.
Well, that's true. They're not being dragged in, but there's an ideology behind it where they're going back to that like Mother Earth bullshit where it's like, I'm the man, I do fuck, and then you're the woman, I make you fuck, and then you have to take care of the children. It's it's a very old school way of thinking that the hippies went back to.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever, peace and love is all just a cover up for just a different bullshit way of living, you know?
Right. To wrap some things up about scum, in terms of men, she said, screwing is, for a man, defense against his desire to become a female.
Huh.
And
I've never thought of that once. She's not right about that one.
Nah. Every time I'm like screwing, I'm not like, I wish I was a chick. Yeah.
This'll work. This'll keep me a dude for 4 years.
That's why I'm so big. I'm trying to go to them titties out and suck my own titty.
Wow, he actually just sucked his own titty, ladies and gentlemen.
I missed
Full
it.
suck.
Fuck.
So part of this book was organizing an actual scum movement. Right, because it's a manifesto. You need people to take on the manifesto. So she was calling for all violent bitches given to slamming those who unduly irritate them.
Slamming pussy.
In the teeth.
Ooh.
I don't want to join scum anymore.
Who'd sink a shiv into a man's chest or ram an ice pick up their asshole
Oh my God.
as soon as look at them.
Okay. I can get on to this. It's so funny that she chose the word manifesto. Because what's in there?
Man, right?
If.
She could.
Basically, she was looking for, in quotes, females who are cool, relatively cerebral, and skirting asexuality.
This is a sexy Tinder bio.
Exactly.
Must be over 5'3".
So she organized a few meetings, and only a handful of people showed up. I mean, this is like Hitler level shit about exterminating a gender.
I'm sure a few of the people who showed up were like, "This might be an interesting play," because that's what that whole area was like.
Right? Yeah. Ooh.
Immersive.
So why am I talking about it, Scum Manifesto so much? Is because it did become a important piece of radical feminism, and I say radical feminism because it's radical. You just can't just kill everyone.
Yeah, the only thing that needs to be radical is them Japan Airs and sweet pipes, like.
And so feminists at the time during the 60s and 70s, like women in NOW, the National Organization of Women, they thought this shit was crazy. They're like, this is fucking stupid. But nowadays, in the regressive time we live in, feminists on the outskirts of feminism, think of this as, oh, Valerie, she was pushed to the edge by the patriarchy, and she was the first woman to openly express her rage in such vulgarity, and all the parts about killing men, that's just satire.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Can we stop saying outskirts of women? Can we say out pantsuits of women?
Out rompers.
Wow.
Gendered. I fucking hate it.
Cody with the wordplay. 3,000, 5,000 miles away. It's coming in slam dunk.
So let's
because women can't slam dunk.
Oh. Let's be clear, there was some wit to Valerie. She was a very witty person. She called men walking dildos, which I think is hilarious.
Dildo.
Yeah, that is good.
Amazing.
That is fun. It's fun.
It's great, but she did actually want to exterminate men.
That's not
Pretty
fun.
mean.
She's an attempted murderer, which we're going to get into right now.
Why did she go for a gay man?
What's that? Why'd she go after him?
No, I know why but he's not the problem.
Oh, Andy.
But he is. But it seems like up until now it's been all kind of sexual related.
Uh-huh.
And now it's more of a power thing that we're about to delve.
Well,
yeah, so let's talk about her person that she would eventually try to kill, Andy Warhol. Tom, can you talk a little bit about this Andy Warhol?
Yeah, Andy Warhol, if you don't know him, he likes soup. It's a good starter. But he was the pop art king with a serious rise during the 60s, creating basically a cult-like following to some degree, and totally blowing away the idea of art and what was fine art into commercial art, and just crossing those bounds and making the everyday object into pieces of art. If you don't know Andy Warhol, for real, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, because this is a really smart podcast.
Yeah,
you know shit.
Just go to the supermarket and get clam chowder.
But his commercial career allowed for a lot of experimenting with other mediums, such as movies. And
that wasn't
Music
really
and
his
stuff,
commercial thing.
No, it jump starts and it gives you the accessibility to other resources, so that way you're allowed to experiment.
Well, yeah, he made a lot of his money during the 50s working as a commercial artist, working for clients, doing I think his first job was in Glamour magazine, and then he started doing prints for pretty much anyone who wanted his interesting style, because he wasn't always just cans of soup. He was actually a very good fine artist who developed his own style, and lots of album covers.
But then he did that soup, though, right? That was cool,
he did
right?
the soup.
He
Yeah.
did that. Wait, have you ever seen the one with Marilyn Monroe, but she's green and then she's blue?
Yes,
That's
love that
sick.
it's crazy. Andy Warhol changed the art world as we knew it, and there was a big following. Especially, he was a New York City boy, so there was a lot of her being in the city and seeing this crossing of the fine arts into the commercial arts area that he, like I said, changed the whole fucking scape of art, and he made himself accessible, and people can go hang out with him, and it was a whole celebrity. He was a rock and roll dude, straight up. Like, people wanted to touch his body.
All right, but for someone who is not very attractive,
No, not at all.
conventionally,
I don't know what he looks like.
Go look him up.
He's albino.
He was very into vanity, and he liked the high fashion industry, and he liked beautiful women. And I saw his show at the Whitney And it was interesting. But there was one ad that he did for nose jobs that was like very offensive. And there's someone that I know that like posted a picture and was like, my nose looks like the before picture of this advertisement. And I was like, what the fuck? But it's such a weird thing to like see him openly like shame someone for like their appearance, but it's for commission. Like, you know, he was told to do that, but it was just like a really interesting thing that I thought was included in his show.
Yeah, that bit he had done during the 50s when he was working for people, and he himself got a nose job when he was 29 years old. And yeah, we'll get more into Andy Warhol on the following episode to this one, because big surprise here, the next episode is Andy Warhol to couple this one up.
Yeah. Well, basically, he's just a catty little swishy boy.
Yes.
I'm going to put it in a very masculine term. A catty little swishy boy. Who had fine hair. Like texture-wise.
Beautiful
fine
hair.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we do Andy Warhol.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry to give too much away.
No, it's okay.
No. So Valerie knew that there was she was looking around to get her play produced. Up Your Ass one.
Hey, I got a play. It's about being up your ass. You want to do something about it? You want to come over here? I'll fight you. You got a dick? I'll take it off.
Yeah. So she's walking around trying to get someone's dick to come off and have the play show up. And she's like, who better than Andy Warhol, this weird, asexual, eccentric guy with a lot of money who likes to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
You know? So, through a friend, Valerie was able to set up a meeting with Warhol at the factory. And the factory was like the place where Andy would take all of his artists and, create.
Yeah, kind of get them to do his work.
Yeah, pretty much.
He got lazy.
Yeah, and it was a drug hub.
Yes,
too.
it was a drug hub. And to be fair, Valerie was not a drug addict. You know,
No?
she showed up at
Really?
She showed up at the factory, but she wasn't like one of those druggies.
Was she a drinker?
Nope. She was
Nothing?
pretty much sober.
Let me get a cigarette.
Yeah, cigarettes. She loved cigarettes.
Look at my play. It's called Up Your Ass, or it's called something different, or it's called something better than being up your ass with it.
So, upon meeting Valerie, Andy actually thought that she was an undercover cop because the play was so dirty and so over the top that it almost seemed like someone was trying. You know what I mean?
Like,
Yeah.
it's predictable to a point.
Right,
You
you're-
get like a little bit into it.
Yeah, it's like, just I'm going to write the dirtiest thing I can.
Yeah, it's contrived, which
Right.
apparently we have no more eye for in 2019 because everything is fucking contrived.
Right. So he called her out. He's like, "You're a fucking cop, aren't you?" So Valerie unzipped her pants, showed him her pussy, and said, "Sure, I'm a cop. Here's my badge."
Oh my god.
Very funny, Valerie.
Yeah, very
She's
good.
funny.
She is a funny lady.
Yeah, really.
So the two actually got along really well, and Warhol found her an interesting character. She wasn't the bombshell or the fashionista that most women around the factory were, but she entertained him through the conversations, kind of like, I'm going to have my token feminist.
That's
around.
why she was selling them. Great conversations
Yeah.
from this woman.
Great conversationist.
Any research that you do, the word that you see over and over again is butch. It's like she's butch lesbian.
Yeah.
That's it.
She referred to herself as a dyke.
Hey.
Yeah, she was like, I'm a dyke.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
hold the
the
water
physical
up.
description.
But Valerie actually loved attention, and she would do anything for publicity for her two works, Up Your Ass and The Scum Manifesto. And she, the factory was almost like a collection of outcasts, but she was an outcast of the outcasts. You know what I mean? Like, she was an outcast at the factory.
Oh, okay.
So she kind of hung out on the outskirts. She didn't do any drugs, but Andy kept her around just so she could have these, like, cool conversations, right? Eventually, Valerie passed off a script of Up Your Ass to Andy Warhol for him to read through in hopes of him turning it into a movie, because he was shooting these shitty films at the time.
Horrible, horrible, horrible films.
It's like porn, but without the porn. It's just the setup.
Yeah.
Softcore porn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so unsatisfying, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, this is time before photocopying, so she had hand-typed this copy, and Andy had misplaced it. Read it. I don't know if he read it.
Men
He probably
fucking
just
up
threw it in
again.
the garbage.
He smoked that shit.
And this loss would become a point of obsession for Valerie and ultimately lead to this murder attempt. But before we go into that, we're going to talk about her other baby, the Scum Manifesto, which she also fucked up.
So this is her third baby?
No, yes, yes, the scummiest one. So in 1967, that same year, she was hanging out at the factory. She responded to an advertisement looking for ambitious authors, waiting to be discovered. And this ad was posted by a Maurice Garadas.
Not a trustworthy name.
No, he was of Olympic Press, and Maurice was a known dirtbag in the publishing world. He had ripped off the profits of such books as Lolita and Naked Lunch.
Oh, yeah, William S.
Yeah. Anyway, Valerie wanted to get the Scum Manifesto published, so her and Maurice met. Valerie signed the shitty contract with very vague language. Basically, she got a cash advance of $500 and a few more lump sums to come on the way, and royalties.
Well, she can go to college 5 times at that.
Yeah, exactly. And after she had done, she had realized that, this guy owns the next 2 books that I write.
Oh.
Like, I just signed a really bad thing, and she starts getting really paranoid.
She knows how to read. Why the fuck did she sign it then?
And it was a man?
Yeah. Oh, dun, dun, dun.
It's just so
Fuck.
interesting. It's like
Look,
very-
I've seen really shitty contracts, and guess what? I'm a man. There's no man club that's like, oh, you're a dude? I'll give you the best contract out there.
I got fucked when I signed up for my job by a woman.
No, I know. I'm just surprised that she would. I'm surprised that she would just not investigate further
Yeah,
with
right?
this guy.
Well, remember, she's
woman
also like
publisher.
whoring still and like
So she's
living
like-
on the
But that's
streets.
no,
and-
Emily, that's a good point. It's just like if you hate men and you don't trust them, and one gives you a piece of paper saying, I'll give you money if you sign this, just read it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but she's
Yeah.
so used to like, I'll let you bang me for money. So
Right. Well, the interesting thing that I always thought when I was reading this book is that she describes herself as a lesbian, but she's the only people that were discussed in the book were her boyfriends. There was never a girlfriend.
that's internalized homophobia.
Chicks with dicks.
Chicks with dicks.
Chicks with dicks.
I would have chimed in, but I got latency, so it would have sounded like I'm an offbeat Asian, but whatever.
Wish you did.
Best of both worlds. So after she signed this contract, she was like, I need to like fix this. You know, everyone's like coming after me. So she turned to the person who knows the best about stealing people's artwork, Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol himself. And he honestly tried to calm her down. He actually told his lawyer, Paul Morsi, to take a look at the contract. And Paul took one look and laughed and was like, Valerie, this has like no legal, standing in court.
Right.
You basically send this on the fucking napkin. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
this guy doesn't own your works. But she didn't believe him. And this started started her to spiral out of control into complete paranoia. She turned around to Andy. She's like, "Where's my fucking script? Where's my up your ass? Give me up your ass."
And he was like,
Yeah.
"You'll never guess."
I think I might have lost it up my ass. But yeah, he lost it. So she accuses him of stealing her ideas in the Scum Manifesto and putting it into his own films, which he might have done.
Yeah, that's not like the guy makes soup prints. You know?
Yeah. Andy Warhol's trying to help her.
Right.
And like she has these boyfriends and,
Oh, wieners.
So she's all paranoid as shit. She's got this $500. She goes out to California. She sees her sister. She starts writing letters to Andy and Maurice, the publisher. Mm-hmm. And she just kind of starts to lose it out there. And her sister's like, "Whoa, what's going on? What's going on here?"
Dude, chill, bro.
Being paranoid sucks. I feel for her on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, how paranoid are you right now?
Pretty paranoid.
You know you're never going to get a job from doing this podcast with us?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
Here we are.
Yeah, so she comes back to New York. She gets a boyfriend, this guy named Ben Moriah, who was the head leader of an anarchist group called the Up Against the Wall motherfucker.
So is that like a thing? Like to have your own group?
Yeah, I think back then it was
Form your own.
what group are you in?
Yeah.
It's all faction based.
And it's like, oh, you founded one? That's so hot.
This is the roast mortem group.
True, yeah.
Dude, that is pretty hot.
This is my group. This is my group, the Benjamins. We all agreed that Benjamins is the best name. We all changed our name to Benjamins.
Yeah, all right. This is my boy Breaking, and this is my other boy Breaking. So this Breaking Benjamin motherfucker, he would show up. He was anti-capitalist. He would show up to protests, violent protests, bring guns to his rallies and everything.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, he was kind of rebel.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna get to the date. The date for Valerie here. June 3rd, 1968. Valerie got up early. She went to a friend of her mother's a friend's mother's house that was keeping some of her valuables because she was living on the street at this point.
Some of her valuables. And she's a crazy lady, so cats.
It was a address book, a Kotex pad, a 32 Beretta automatic, and a 22 Colt revolver.
Imagine asking my mom to hold on to some guns for you.
Guns and a pad. It's like, I might have my periods, but I got guns,
Oh,
Put all my addresses are in here. Please keep
What's
it
in the
safe.
box? What's in the box?
Something's bleeding tonight.
This is in case if I don't mortally wound him. I just want something to pad him up with.
Oh, jeez.
So she goes to a variety of different places this day. She tries to she was going to like producers and stuff trying to pitch her play. She was just like dropping her play off at like the actor's studio.
Right.
Like all these different places.
She was going to Taco Bell. Can I just get a cup for water?
Oh, classic.
Yo, can I just get that cup?
It's just water cup.
Yeah.
She shows up to this woman named Margot Faden who had her 18-month-old daughter, and Valerie pulled the gun on them and said, like, you're going to write my play, aren't you? Or you're going to produce my play, aren't you?
Gonna shoot that baby.
Did she?
Jeez.
No, Margot actually held her ground and was like, you're wasting your time. I'm not producing your play.
Shoot my baby. You fucking won't.
And
I dare you.
you won't do it.
What, this?
Like holding the baby in front of the muzzle.
Yeah.
You hit a moving target?
Shake your baby in zigzags.
Shaking around trying to shoot my baby. Huh? You can't keep your eye on it.
So she actually tells Margot that, like, yes, you will produce my play because I'll shoot Andy Warhol. That will make me famous, and that'll make the play famous, and you'll produce it.
Well, that sounds like Margot should have called the police.
She did. Oh. She called every precinct. She called every precinct in the city. She called the mayor. She called the governor, but no one would believe her.
They don't care about artists. New York City doesn't care about their fucking artists.
Who are they going to shoot? Andy Whirl?
Andy.
Who's Andy Whirl? Who cares?
But wasn't she friends with
soup
Andy
guy.
Warhol?
Yeah, she was, but
She's gonna shoot her friend just to make herself famous?
so she became so
shoot you.
paranoid by the fact that he had stole her play
Oh, yeah.
and like all this shit, and that was kind of her motivation. Was like, you got my play.
Come on, Valerie.
It's like when you're at a bar and there's a drunk guy who tells you a brilliant idea to him, and it's not such a brilliant idea.
You just nod your head.
And he's like all psyched to share it with you, and as soon as he's done like chewing your fucking ear off, he goes, "Don't you fucking steal my idea, dude."
That's exactly what
I'm
it is.
that guy.
Don't you fucking
That
do
guy
it.
is me.
I was gonna make a spatula with a skateboard wheel on it, so when it's on the remember Tech Decks? Okay, remember Tech Decks?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but eggs on it.
Wow.
If you steal this fucking idea from me, I will murder you.
Damn.
You understand?
That's
Yes, sir.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So eventually she ends up at the factory, and she actually puts on some makeup, which was something that Valerie usually didn't do. She was like, I'm gonna put on some makeup. This is a big day.
It's a special occasion.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my hair did. This is all gonna be good.
Cool.
So she shows up there. She asked the receptionist 7 times where Andy Warhol was. He was not in. And eventually Andy showed up to the factory at 4:15 with his boyfriend, Jed Johnson. But he invited Valerie up to the studios on the 6th floor of the factory. They all got in the elevator, had a nice little chat. And when the doors opened, there was the lawyer, Paul Morrissey, and 2 dudes, one named Hugh and one named Amaya.
Amaya.
Yeah, Morrissey actually said, "Doesn't Valerie look good?" And then jokingly said, "You got to get out of here because we have business to do. If you don't, I'm going to beat the hell out of you and throw you out."
Who said that?
Lol.
The lawyer, Morrissey.
With the singer?
Which is how coked up lawyers talk.
Right, yeah. So Morrissey passed the phone off to Andy Warhol, who was talking to Viva, who was one of Warhol's models. At this point, no one was paying attention to Valerie, and she pulled out her 32 Beretta from her trench coat, lined up a shot at Warhol, who's like standing like 10 feet away, and then bang! I mean, she missed a motionless albino person just standing there on the phone.
I mean, there's a lot of jokes to be made there.
Tons.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
So no one in the room actually noticed that she had fired a handgun. They thought that it might have been an explosion downstairs.
It's her ovaries.
Yeah, her ovaries are exploding.
Such charisma.
Yeah, some people thought it was a firecracker. The only person,
I love 4th of July.
yeah, the only person who noticed was Andy Warhol. He turned around and was like, "Oh no, Valerie, don't, no!" She fired a second shot, missed.
Oh, for 2.
Oh,
Stop it.
Come on.
Close the windows.
And then Andy took cover under his desk. So Valerie walked up, stood point blank, standing over, carrying Andy Warhol, and fired. The bullet went through his lungs and abdomen. It was one bullet, but it caused massive damage, puncturing his spleen, liver, lungs, stomach, and esophagus.
One shot. That's to make
One
up
shot.
for the
Is
2
that-
I missed.
Is that something that like enters and like rattles around several times, or is
I think it was just the way he was standing, or like
that
leaning
sucks
over
so
and went like,
much.
Ooh.
Yeah, it went through him,
Fetal
exit
position.
wound style.
Doesn't sound like a good time.
Nah.
So Andy laid there dying. Yeah, it wasn't a good time because everyone thought Andy was dead. Then Valerie turned around and shot this Amaya guy, shot him through the hip, and he was able to escape. It was a non-lethal wound.
He was the first parkour artist. So he was out of there.
Yeah, he was gone. He just parkoured out the window.
Goodbye.
Then she walked over to this Yu guy who was on the ground with nowhere to hide. She pointed the gun at him and said, "I have to shoot you." Yu begged for his life while Valerie pushed the button for the elevator. She then held the gun to Yu's forehead, pulled the trigger, and the gun jammed. So she went for her backup cult, and then the elevator had come, and she decided to just make her escape.
Wow.
That's lame.
After leaving the factory, Valerie headed to Times Square around 8 o'clock. She went for that Olive Garden, went for that.
I got that
she was like,
special, got her
"That's
picture
amazing."
taken with Elsmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one will ever know who I am here.
She should have wore like a ski mask or something like that. Or
No,
did it-
she was like, "Give me them breadsticks."
May
You
I
don't wear a
please?
ski mask when you want to send a message, Mike.
Yeah, true.
No, she actually walked up to the first cop and said, "The police are looking for me. They want me. He had too much control over my life." And she handed the Beretta and Colt over to the cop and turned herself in. Now, upon booking, Valerie was ecstatic. She was smiling for all the photographers that were swarming the station because she wanted to be famous.
Yeah,
and
finally.
she had her 15 minutes of fame as Andy
Warhol, yeah, he coined that phrase. You ever hear that shit? We're all getting it now. Thanks, Twitter.
Thanks, Tweeties. So, meanwhile, Andy's rushed off to a hospital. He was declared dead for a little bit, and his doctors fixed him. His heart started again, but he was fucked up.
Fuck yeah.
He was fucked up. He
shit.
came to for a while.
But he's just like, I'm a zombie artist now.
Yeah.
Respect.
It's like, oh man, this guy looks dead. He must be dead. He always looks dead.
Yeah, I mean, he's not Rob Zombie. Like, Rob Zombie's actually dead. And, like, that's why his music's so sick.
Yeah.
So, Valerie was being held for her hearing in a New York City jail. And she was asked if she regretted shooting Andy Warhol. She said, I considered the shooting a moral act, and I consider it immoral that I missed. I should have gone to target practice.
Damn straight. Get it done.
Yeah.
Get done, Warman. The sleazebag Maurice, the publisher, sold out copies of Scum. Now it was hitting the shelves. She was selling thousands of copies. Valerie was in the headline news. She got all the attention she wanted. Mm-hmm. All this buzz caught the attention of the National Organization of Women.
Not the now, that's what I call music association.
Beat me to it, motherfucker.
You're further away. You got lag time.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
Yeah, true.
So this group was actually doing things good for women. They were fighting against abortion, like the abortion rights,
restrictions,
reproductive rights. They were standing up for women and justice in America. Great organization now, actually doing shit. Not like Valerie, just complaining.
Yeah.
So, Valerie's arrest caught the eye of a certain high-ranking radical feminist known as Ty Grace Atkinson.
That sounds like a Southern Democrat name.
Yeah, kind of. This Ty Grace, she actually, without reading the Scum Manifesto, simply by reading the press coverage and seeing Valerie's remarks, just saying, he had too much control over my life, Ty Grace aligned herself with Valerie and came to her defense. Now, this is the type of reactionary bullshit, the clickbait research that we get nowadays.
Oh, yes.
Like, she didn't know fucking dick about Valerie. She was like, oh, he had too much control over my life? Oh, no. Oh, no.
And it's all because she didn't have a second copy of Up Yours.
Yeah.
It's like, just make another copy.
Another fucking copy, you dumb.
It's easy.
Have your, well, it wasn't easy, but have your own before you hand it off to someone else.
If your job is panhandling, it's easy.
Yeah, you got a lot of time to write a second copy.
She's out in Greenwich Village just smoking cigarettes and eating free pancakes and looking at people's parrots. Like, she's got time.
So, simply by reading the news reports, Ty Grace thought that by shooting Andy Warhol, Valerie was standing up to the patriarchy and fantasizing Valerie as a symbol of women's rage. She began a Free Valerie campaign. And Ty Grace actually brought in a civil rights defense lawyer named Flo Kennedy. Flo Kennedy had worked with the Black Panthers and had worked in murder cases before. She also did not read the Scum Manifesto and jumped on board blindly to defend this woman.
I hope that if I do anything questionable in my life, that no one who might defend me would read anything I've ever produced.
That's fair.
Please, no.
Especially someone named Flo.
Yeah. Isn't that the progressive chick?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's your period.
Heavy. Her first name was Heavy, last name was Flo.
Got it.
I can't relate.
If someone's like, Aunt Flo came to town.
It's that time of month.
I'm like, you're the problem. Fucking say it.
Yeah.
So to prove that Ty Grace and Flo didn't care about Valerie and just cared about the feminist narrative, they actually mispronounced and misspelled Valerie's last name for many weeks. Instead of saying Solanas, they said Solanas. With an I.
You want to know why we do this? Because we care. Because we care about the details.
Yeah. So Ty Grace had set up group meetings with other feminists to meet Valerie on her visitation times. One notable feminist, Roxanne Dunbar Ortez, said, I can guarantee that she is a non-violent person, nor is she anti-male. She is angry and anti-man.
She shot someone.
I felt like I was in the presence of a very special person.
She's a psychopath.
Right?
She's not against men. She's against male success.
Yeah.
I also hate.
Not violent, though.
Why?
There's potential.
Why can't we all just be successful?
Yeah.
You know, all this.
There you go, Mike.
Let's start my own fucking organization.
Pinch his cheek for me.
Another woman named Maureen Davidka, who was 19 at the time, vowed to develop a virus that would kill all men.
Well, she sounds like a retard.
Yeah. Later, when the AIDS epidemic broke out, a lot of feminists thought that she had produced the AIDS epidemic.
Well, that sounds like a lot of retards.
We don't know that she didn't create the man flu virus.
Why would you want to attack the gay men? They're the only men out there that are not creating more men.
I know, they're not macho boys.
They're partying with the ladies. They're having a good time. They're not to say they can't be part of the patriarchy.
Yeah, but gay men are like brutally honest sometimes, and it really hurts our feelings.
Wow.
Straight men know how to white lie.
Yeah.
That's what I said before. You gotta, we have to work together by lying to each other.
My favorite comment that ever was swung my way was, "Stop pretending you're cold. It's not cute." And I was like, I'm not pretending. I'm very cold right now.
A gay guy said that to my sister. Get ready for a hate crime.
But it was at that moment I like put my posture back or whatever you
Your
do.
posture?
Whatever
You have been drinking. Just like Travis.
Whatever you do with your posture. I like stood up straight and I wasn't cold anymore, and I was like, thank you.
Magic
Saved my
works.
life.
I wish the audience could hear my wrists flailing with truths
I can hear it from here.
all the way in Hawaii.
All right, so now is when all these groups pop up, like Witch and Clit. We talked about them before.
Yeah, witch and clit.
Witch and clit.
And witch clit.
Witch Clit.
Which is basically like a flesh peanut. Made with a barb at the end of it.
Yeah. Burn through the witches and slam through the witches. Am I drag you down?
I've got a house made of candy. Come live in it, two Dutch people.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I call feminism.
If a witch's broom just had a dildo installed.
I think there was some truth to that. What
Yeah.
you
That's
just
the
said.
genesis of the witch's broom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it was wood.
It was a medicinal,
Which,
vaginal
as
applicator.
a man, I could say is probably more reliable than a man.
Yeah.
Wood doesn't go soft.
There we go.
And hardwood.
Yeah.
So what did Valerie think? Yeah. What did Valerie think of all this feminist fame? Well, she never identified as a feminist.
Would you call it feminist?
Feminist.
Damn, Cody, I'm taking your job tonight.
You can have it.
So, sure, she had a lot of anti-male ideology, but basically shooting Andy Warhol was a PR stunt.
Okay, but I have that. A lot of anti-male ideology. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can not shoot a man.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, for sure. But she didn't identify as a feminist. In fact, Valerie said, "I am not being discriminated against because of my sex. That is a contrived issue designed to give some unimaginative leeches something to rap about."
But not identifying with the word is the problem. That's like why a lot of people are like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Like, I want women to have rights, but I can't say.
Yeah, the word feminist is very complicated nowadays.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
half the problem. And if she were to not ever be called a feminist, that probably would have been better.
I would agree. Yeah.
But
for
like
sure.
the fact that that's what she's labeled as constantly, she's probably resistant, and I get it.
Yeah. So she actually became more and more abusive to feminists, and eventually Ty Grace would make excuses for her, saying, "Oh, Valerie has changed when she's been to prison. She used to not be like this." And when I read that, I was like, "Wait, this woman never met her before prison."
That's very true.
That's very
You know what
true.
I mean? Like,
And
I'm
also-
sure she did change in prison. Like, that does change you. But, like,
Well, look,
How could you say that?
if you're a feminist and you're getting thrown in prison and it's all a women's prison, you realize that the people in there also suck just as much as the men.
Right.
It's the same shit. You're not getting better. You're just getting a different perspective on it. So you either go psycho fucking crazy route where it's like, fuck men and this is where I'm supposed to be, or it's like, be realistic and the dregs of society are the dregs of society.
Yeah. So Valerie was eventually evaluated by psychiatrists. Interesting enough, a female psychiatrist, which is where Valerie would have been if she applied herself.
Wow. Imagine that.
Yeah. She was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and she was actually given an IQ test and scored 131, placing her in the
smarty pants.
in the 98th percentile.
And you wouldn't guess that for the way she talks about things. You know, she's like, hey, the men's ain't that good around here. The one thing I don't like about things is men.
So she was sent off to Mattawan, which is a notorious psych ward in Beacon, New York, now closed. And her mental health deteriorated. Andy Warhol never pressed charges, probably because he didn't want any negative press, and Valerie didn't have anything to give him.
But he also was able to monetize this.
Oh,
somehow.
yeah.
It worked all out.
Yeah, it worked out for him better than he thought, other than his early death. But
Yeah.
But like I think he kind of like spun it immediately and was like, I'm not gonna make a stink of this. I'm gonna make art.
So Valerie was released after 5 years. She would escape from the psych ward a few times. And a couple times she was released and then threatened Warhol or Maurice and was sent back a few times.
That's smart, because all she had to do was not do those things.
Yeah.
And then she would have been free.
She would have been fine.
Real smart. You know, 130 IQ.
In 1974, she was released and instantly went back to the streets. She found a boyfriend and got some welfare housing in New York. The apartment was apparently a shithole and roaches used to climb out of the drain. What would Valerie do? She'd squat over the sink and pee on them.
But I thought she hated men.
She always had boyfriends, Mike.
She always had boyfriends.
She never put her money where her mouth was.
Always loved to pee
Her
on
south
a
mouth
cock.
was.
Roach.
Yeah. Well,
Ew, come on, you.
when she
Come on, you.
when she wasn't peeing on cock, she was blowing her landlord for rent money.
I mean, that would be nice.
Eventually,
I can't even get away with that now.
Eventually, she found a little bit of success in the late 70s when Olympic Press, Maurice, went bankrupt, and she claimed the rights to the Scum Manifesto. She tried to print it and distribute it herself, but the sales were terrible. But that made her get rediscovered by a feminist newspaper, and they brought her on as an editor consultant. And she was
the newspaper called The Rag?
I see what you've done.
She was a complete asshole to her coworkers, even because she thought she was like hot shit, which led to her to quit her job to write an autobiography.
You don't quit your job when you do that.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need you guys.
I agree.
I'm gonna write
That's
this
a work in progress.
So, she's out of the psych ward. She's running around New York City again. She gets Scum Manifesto. She doesn't know what to do with it because she doesn't know how to distribute. She gets a job. She leaves a job. She's writing an autobiography now. Mm-hmm. Where does that bring her? Is she like dying?
She's just fucking nuts. She thought that in the psych ward, her uterus was removed and a tracking device was put into her uterus.
She thought that?
Which was removed.
Wait, she thought that, or that happened?
No.
No one did that.
Yeah, no one
then.
put a tracking device in there.
No one could do that. Even if
I was just wondering.
yeah, even if it's just not possible for 1970s at this point. Technology to put a tracking device on your uterus.
All right, but my overlyless dog with a tracking device in her is listening.
This is 40 years later.
So rude.
We have cell phones back then.
She can hear you.
They had landlines.
Sorry,
Yeah, there's just one huge like telephone cord dangling out of Valerie.
In 1981, she disappeared from New York City. A lot of people had seen her drifting around the streets as a street urchin. Apparently before she left New York, she stopped talking because of this uterus device. She would just mumble.
Oh.
Because she didn't want anyone to hear her.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Like Joe Pesci in Casino.
Yeah.
Put your hand over your mouth when you talk to me. They're surveilling us. What do you fucking mean? Take care of the Jew. Okay? Take care of the fucking Jew.
So 1981, she left, and eventually she traveled around the U.S. She ended up in Phoenix, Arizona. And the only reason why we know that is because there was a cop called Bud Velasquez, something in Spanish.
Why are you not even close? Why am I not even looking at the word?
Whatever.
I know
Some cop found
a red, a Jed, a Bud.
All right, so Bud, apparently the people of Phoenix had been complaining about this woman who was dressed in a nightgown, cawing like crow in the middle of the street with scabs all over her body.
Smells stinky, bro.
Oh.
And this Bud guy was like, "Who the fuck is this? Who is this lady?
Get on it, bud."
So he found out that she wasn't diseased because she had a fork on her that she was digging her skin off. And eventually he had cornered her in a park in the middle of the night and pinned her down and was like, "Who the hell are you? I'm going to arrest you. You're violating,
I bet that made her feel safe.
Welcome.
And she was like, "I'm Valerie Solanas, you son of a bitch." And
She said that?
yeah.
She called him that? She used dirty language?
Son of a bitch!
She said that? Oh my god.
So anyway, she was a crazy lady cawing like a chicken. Disappeared from Phoenix again. Ended up in the Bristol Hotel in San Francisco's Tenderloin District. Nowadays, it's probably a whole bunch of tech pros scooting around on electric scooters.
Yeah.
But back then, it was a seedy, drug-filled, shitty place.
Oh.
Real shitty place!
Okay.
Jeez, man. You got mad. I'm supposed to get mad at this time period, not you.
So Valerie went back to whoring. She was living in a small hotel room. She had been missing for over a decade, and her family members... Remember, she was living on the streets when she could have returned to a family that would have welcomed her back.
Yeah. So Daddy was there still.
Well, Dad had died by then, but the mother and the sister both cared about her. It wasn't like this was a person that had nowhere to go.
Right.
She's schizophrenic. She's like digging into her arm with forks and stuff.
Well, now she is,
But she's also gay.
Is
Don't
she gay?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So she's, let's say that she's weary.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to exactly go back because it might stifle her sexuality.
Yeah,
and
she
her
wants
spirit.
sliz.
She can get you.
Thank you.
Pretty straightforward. She wants that sliz.
Yeah.
She might want something else, like forks in her skin.
Yeah.
This woman is deranged. This is pure sadness.
No, it is. So Valerie had never done drugs before, but now she was a full-on meth head.
What?
I'll keep you up.
Yeah. She was making her way through life by collecting Social Security checks and using her holes for money. She actually sent a letter to the editor of High Times during this period in the 80s because someone had mentioned her in an article. So Andy Warhol had died in 1987, and after his death, Ultraviolet, who was another one of his models, tracked down Valerie, and Ultraviolet was the last person to talk to her over the phone. Valerie had apparently given up on the Scum Manifesto and just wanted to be left alone. Now, ask me a thing.
How did Valerie come to ultimately not be doing so hot?
So on April 25th, 1988, a couple days after I was born.
Cool.
Oh my god, when's your birthday?
April 19th.
Docs.
Bicycle day.
Docs! My social
it.
is 420-420-69 at me.
When's your birthday? I didn't know we had such a prominent Aries season.
So
and
many
I hate you. And she's an Aries. That was going to be my first comment about this, but she's a fucking Aries.
Yeah?
And it makes sense.
Aries, ramming it. Isn't that a ram or is that a goat?
I think the Aries is a clam.
Sagittarius is goat. That's me.
I I'm a clam.
Thought I was like a bull.
Might be a.
You're a Libra, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like you.
All right, well, let's move along.
Yeah, so
This is a scientific podcast. We don't talk about hocus pocus.
Well, we're discussing a feminist today, and I thought that would fall under her
It does.
interests.
So Valerie had not been seen for a week, and her rent was overdue. So the superintendent of the building opened her door using the master key to find Valerie kneeling over the side of her bed, her torso laying on top of the bed, covered in maggots. Valerie had died a week prior and had been decomposing in her room. The cause of death was the flu,
Really?
The man flu.
caused by emphysema.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah,
Get
It's a
your
horrible
flu
way to
shot.
die.
it's a bad way to die.
All right, so we got this person.
She bummed too many cigarettes.
Yeah, she bumped too many cigarettes.
Yeah, so we're looking at this person who had a really distressed life and then dealt with some crazy paranoia shit and definitely was an asshole at the midpoint of her life, but just fucking lost it.
Yeah, she did.
This is not a funny episode. It's official. Nothing funny here.
God damn it, there was some funny things.
Nothing funny here. This is educational.
We talked about the bird and the bees. We talked about...
Oh, Travis. So we learned a lot. Very valuable episode.
Guess what? We learned some things.
We did learn things.
I feel so ashamed.
Valerie.
What does everyone think about her?
I kind of want to
Besides you, Tom, you're like,
now.
it's sad.
It's sad. Was it not sad? Tell me it's fucking not sad.
It's
Tell
pretty
me
sad.
it's not
She's
sad.
not
Sad
far from my own ideologies, other than the killing, other than the actual murder. Fuck men.
Okay.
That's fine. I mean, we have the same mother, so I know where you're coming from.
Hey, don't expose me like that. People will find out on their own.
Dois doxos! Dois doxos!
Doxed. Mike, what do you think?
I kind of want to start my own kind of like cult now because of her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I be in it?
Yeah, sure. Everyone can join.
What is it called?
Mike.
What does that stand for?
That's cool. Yeah.
Men in khaki
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll join that,
workshop.
dude. That's like Jackie Chan shit.
That's cool as hell.
Workshopping.
Cody, what does the islands of Hawaii think of this woman?
Very hypocritical, loud, and didn't accomplish much.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
pretty much.
Shot one Albanese man.
One man
Her
from
shooting
Albany.
average is pretty poor, almost as if she was like in the WNBA or something.
All right, so Travis, any final thoughts on this?
I just want to watch Spider-Man 2 when I get home.
Wow.
Oh, with Toby?
That
with
does
Toby.
that does take place in New York City.
It does.
Yeah.
And actually, that was what I watched that. All my research came from that movie.
Do you like the third one, Travis?
Oh, the third one is my favorite.
It's the best one.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap up the episode then.
Yeah!
Thank you, our listeners, for doing this with us tonight. And remember, be careful what you wish for.
God damn it,
'cause
Tom!
you just might get it all.
You promised me it would end.
I'm not good on promises. All right, anyway, you can find us all collectively, Roast Mortem Cast, at the old Instagram, on Twitter. We have a Gmail, gmail.com.
Facebook.
Roast Mortem Podcast at gmail.com. Shoot
No,
us a
Roast Mortem Cast.
No,
No,
it's-
pod.
no.
We don't use pods.
Oh, yeah, I
here.
forgot. And then we got Roast Mortem Cast. You could do a patreon.com/Roast Mortem Cast. Give us your money, and we'll tell you the end of Spider-Man 2.
Oh, no one's ever heard of it before.
So you can find me personally at Saunched on Twitter, SAUNTCHT.
You can follow me at Travis Legion with 2 E's on Instagram, Twitter, or you could just send that in the mail. No address.
Cody, what do you got?
I am Cody McCann on the Twitters at Cody McCann, CODYMCCANN.
And I'm Mike. You can follow me at Mike Regan with 2 N's.
Please follow my Twitter at CrustyLulz420 at CU. No, it's not CU. CRUSTILULS420. Thanks.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Shane, everyone. I'm going home to the place where I belong. Decky Shane, Shane, Shane,
Night,
Decky
everyone.
I'm going home.
I want. Yeah. Ooh, I'm about to puke. Oh!
Is that it's a very musical puke, Travis?
No, I got like a little bubble.
Travis hates petty theft. It's disgusting.
Oh, I was gonna say
Kleptomaniacs. Ugh.
body wants tomato. That's the best, dude. That's like that's like I lost my virginity to Smash Mouth.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
Did
No,
you really?
but I wish I did.
Yeah. Smash and mouth.
Whoa!
Oh, jeez.
whole new meaning to that. Oh, okay.
Smash and south mouth.
That means
South mouth.
The South mouth.
Jesus Christ.
The brown mouth.
We're supposed to be having the dirty jokes on this.
That makes sense
I like
over
that
here.
South mouth. I'm gonna use that. That is awesome.
Oh, that's really Jesus
Hashtag
Christ.
South mouth. All right, so
Jeez.
so